ahead, breeze your way through, and just have some fun.
Exactly, which, speaking of dying to Mothula, Hunter Seeker has indicated that he wants to not see early Fire Rod because of the early moth fight that it could portend. So hopefully the uncle does not have Fire Rod for Hunter Seeker 42.
It does beg a good question. Why do we only have one bed?
It's real cozy.
All right, here we go. We are underway. Let's do this. Let's have some randomization. So, as we get ready to head to the uncle, we found a shield in Link's house. Almost feels like vanilla.
Yeah.
Uncle leaving that behind. Let's go ahead and see what the uncle has. This is your last chance to get your best guesses in for what the uncle has. Survey says we've got your item, the Cane of Samaria.
Called shots. All right.
Okay, what's going to be in this chest?
I'm not gonna push my luck too far. We're going big 20.
Oh, well, of course there's going to be a big 20. I mean, there's like 27 of them in the pool. That's the gamble that can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's the mode call. But at the same time, there's a reason you call it. But
interesting decision by Hunter Seeker using up some of the magic here to try to kill that guard outside of the building. Now, obviously, we're still hoping to get a bomb drop somewhere through here so we can check the back free of escape. And so I'm going to turn to you, and what are we going to have in this next chest? What's going to be in this next chest?
Ooh, I think we're getting vanilla burrito. Doesn't sound delicious, but it will mean we'll get to check the sanctuary chest.
Nope, it's the key. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was obviously my second choice.
You're just proving that it's you're not a witch at this point. We don't have to burn you just yet.
No, I weigh way more than a duck, I can assure you.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, this is really an interesting decision here by Hunter Seeker to try to go ahead and kill some more things on our path through here. Oh, we get our bomb drop though. Okay, so Hunter Seeker killed that one guard. That puts his count where it is right now. There's your burrito, by the way. So if just as he kills one more green guard, he'll have a bomb drop. Or bomb drop.
If he hits the drop probability, it's still a 50% drop in that prize pack. So he may need to kill more, but he needs to progress the prize pack one more step.
Likely we're going to see him try to do it on the screen guard. And he does get the bomb drop.
Yep, there it is. So things are panning out pretty well for both the runners. They both do now have their bomb for the escape. And thankfully Red Cane doesn't use magic too aggressively. So they do have sufficient magic to go and fight that key rat coming up. That's their last big obstacle.
Yeah, and with as much magic as they have, and they don't have to worry about really doing a whole lot of killing, they could opt to try to do some of the ropes coming up in the second floor of the basement, but you don't really have to sit there and spend a whole lot of time killing things out of the way.
Exactly. We may see the runners elect to farm. Some people will choose to look for multiple bombs by the time they get out of the escape. Some people will leave that up to things like tree pulls and bush crabs, or even just a purchase in Kakariko. So it'll be interesting to see what the runners choose to do. I expect some rope farming here in the snake hallway coming up.
So do I. It's going to be easy to do so when the ropes hit the Cane of Samaria. That does qualify as a hit, and then you can just beam them to complete the cycle as we continue to kill a couple of guards along the way for some arrow drops as well as maybe a heart drop.
Yeah, so it looks like Hunter Seeker still does have the lead in that green guard prize pack, but who knows what the ropes are grouped with. We might see the runners get basically exactly the same drops in the hallway coming up if they farm there.
Yeah, we can see the 4 drops, the 8 drops, and other various drops coming up here as we head into the sewers. So we've seen the key, we've seen the burritos, so the last 5 chests we're going to come across in this path will have items.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see blue mail. I think we're getting a mail upgrade. I think things are going to break Hunter Seeker's way. He said he wants to see blue mail, and oh, I was going to say Justin Z passing up on the ropes, but he does choose to farm there late. And I didn't catch Hunter Seeker, so did he choose to farm there as well?
No, he did not. So he's content with what we got. Power Glove turns out to be in the chest here in the sewers, which gives us another return here if we absolutely needed it to, but these guys with that one bomb in hand, they are going to go and do the bombing now. Why come back later when you could take care of it now and save yourself some time? Let's see how the key drop goes. Perfect. And Hunter Seeker gets him to stop in the bottom left corner as well. So good jobs here through escape. 5:30 reaching this final hallway.
Yeah, and I like that from Justin Z. Just one bomb, he's walking right over. Same with Hunter Seeker, just placing it there, not getting cute, trying to play with the bomb timer. No one wants to lose their one bomb to a lost directional input. But yeah, both the runners getting the back of escape glove that you actually want to see, or you want to be there. Now they both had the bomb, but the back of escape glove where it's in those last 3 chests is the glove that can really terrorize you in a seed if you don't have that bomb.
Absolutely, considering the fact that, you know, it takes a lot of time to get back to that area, especially when you've got other options available. We do see a piece of heart. Promise we'll get the seeking a little bit better as we move along here. Let's head out to the overworld. Will we get a map check immediately, or will we wait it out a little bit? Some runners like to wait it out. Some like to check immediately. Will either of these runners check Lumberjack, or will they not? Looks like Justin Z will be checking Lumberjack as we move along here.
And Hunter Seeker may be headed that way as well. No one wants to get burnt by something on the Lumberjack ledge. It's a good time to go get that knowledge. Also, Tier 2 tree pull, packing full magic decanters. That's a nice thing to know. It probably won't come up for the runners, but it's good to know about bush crab only small decanters today.
Yeah, looks like we're a little ripped off on that. And here we go. We have 50 rupees at the Lumberjack tree. So I'm sure there's certain people that are going to be upset about the Aga not being required.
And not necessarily.
For now.
We do not yet know that Aghanim is required. We can say that.
We can say that it's not required to progress yourself to that item. That's for certain. 20 rupees over there, and neither. Well, looks like Justin C is going to go grab it. Still need some rupees for the village.
Yeah, and that will ensure that without any further rupee acquisition. Yeah. Now he's going to feel a little silly, but it's still not too bad of a decision. He did give up a little bit of time there. Did have about a 4-second lead to Sanctuary, but did give up a little bit of that time here. But it's so much on routing that that couple seconds probably won't come back and bite him for grabbing that big 20. And who knows, that big 20 might be huge for paying Kiki off later.
Tier 1 tree pull turned out to be 10 arrows.
Yeah, and that one may actually come up. If the runners are particularly low and Turtle Rock's their last dungeon or something, and they need arrows headed into Ganon's Tower, we might see someone opt for that tree pull.
So it looks like the route for both of these runners are going to be similar here. They're going to go and buy some bombs, and they'll take care of the chicken coop and head their way up to the well, as well as Blaine's hideout.
Yeah, both runners, by virtue of not having additional bombs, having to do that kind of south to north route just to ensure. Of course, this means there will be bombs in the front part of Blind's basement, but neither runner's going to get an advantage, and they're both just going to feel a little bit of consternation about it. Nice quarter speed heartbeat from Justin Z. The smart money choice there. Nah, I usually roll with the half speed beep. How do you feel about heart beeps, Rick? Look at the vendor there.
I hate the sound of the beeping. It's normal vanilla sound. It can get really annoying really fast. And so I think the half beep is. I prefer the half.
Yeah, I usually roll with half beep, but I definitely respect the quarter beep, and I can respect full beep too. It's not my scene, but some people really like that as faithful as possible experience. But both these runners have elected for link-shaped, non-traditional sprites.
3-4 blue pendant, 3 on Hera, 4 at Eastern, and the blue pendant over at Desert.
That was some good observation. That map check came and went pretty quickly there. But yeah, blue pendant over at Desert. But the book and the power glove early, because of course it is. So I bet we're going to see a fire source here. I think we might see that early fire rod to Hunter Seeker's consternation.
Are we going to deal with a Cana Samaria Lamola for progression?
I hope not. But at least we have bombs. And they did get a plus 10 bomb capacity upgrade, if I remember correctly. I think it was in Zelda's Cell.
Man, I still remember that Vitasia match against Cruel, which opted to give them, hey, you want progression? Well, guess what? You're going to have to go through very minimal equipment, Lamo.
Yeah, and both runners going down, checking the library and the racing game, see if anyone decides to blind play the racing game. That looks like Hunter Seeker's just going to check the item. And Justin Z is going to blind play the racing game. We see that he might not be too happy about what he finds.
Hoping for something big, and it looks like he's going to stop on a whammy.
Yeah, and this can be nice. 4 hearts, green mail. If there's, for instance, a full heart container here, a lot of runners will choose to grab it if they're doing the race game, but maybe wouldn't go the whole way back for it because it's pretty out of the way at that point. So something like that, it can be really worth gambling for, and of course it could just be necessary progression. So I like the call by Justin Z. It didn't pay off, but you know, it's always good to see runners kind of decide to make that gamble once in a while.
So both of our runners are taking the same routes at this point as we head over towards the swamp and drain the dam. Be interesting to see if either of them opt to go to Agena early on or not, because sometimes he can have something very important, and sometimes he won't. As we find arrows underneath the water, and let's head on over to the mini Moldorm Cave. 5 items potentially to be found here.
Yeah, and I don't expect anyone to go right for Agena with how they're routing this, but we could see it. And lots of rupees, so I guess Zora is in logic, so we might see that that fake flipper play, especially if Moon Pearl shows up here.
Either way, Zora is still within logic because of the power glove, so both runners do have access to it. But we do find the hammer.
Well, now if Moon Pearl shows up, we might not be seeing... Oh,
there it is!
Moon Pearl. But yeah, we might not be seeing Zora for a hot minute, because that is Dark World access at 13 minutes and 30 seconds for Hunter Seeker, and Justin Z going to be about 15 seconds behind.
Question now, do either of these runners opt to go to still do fake flippers? It looks like Justin Z is content with his Dark World access. Hunter Seeker's going to go check Ice Rod Cave, so if something big turns out to be an Ice Rod Cave, circle it as an advantage for Hunter Seeker for the time being.
Yeah, I'm saving quitting right to Link's house. I'm right there with Justin Z on this play, so I would also be getting burnt by Ice Rod Cave. We'll see if it pays off for Hunter Seeker. He could be cognizant of this as like a big potential play, so this could be a calculated gamble.
Yeah, we got our map check. 5-6 turns out to be Turtle Rock, Palace of Darkness. Was that a red pendant at Swamp?
I was seeing the 5-6 on T-Rock and Palace of Darkness. I missed what the where the red pendant was. Justin Z more efficient at checking maps than me. I also missed the green pendant. I thought there was a pendant ice. But
That's what it looked like to me.
ooh, there's our fire
Ooh,
source.
Yep, we got ourselves a lamp. Oh, there's the mirror.
So good. So good, that mirror in Hype Cave.
Okay, so I had it swapped around. It's green pendant at swamp, red at ice. So Hunter Seeker didn't get anything big out of the Ice Rod Cave by the looks of things, as Justin C now takes his newly found hammer and he's going to head on over towards the pyramid area. As Hunter Seeker does the fake flippers.
Yeah, this is bold by Hunter Seeker, fake flippering with Dark World access. There's a lot of completable items in the Dark World, and sticking around and doing kind of sparse Light World locations. If there's something left in Sphere 1 for the runners, it could be a while before Justin Z sees it.
And again, we bring up Agina at this point, and also Sahasrara, which is another check that's in that Sphere 1 that neither of these runners are going to get to for a while.
Half magic on the pyramid ledge, that is a welcome find. No rods yet for sort of good offensive magic use, but ooh, that Moblin was waiting.
Yeah, tackle. Pretty tackle right there. I mean, I would give that an NFL quality tackle.
He definitely lowered the shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Justin C is going to go ahead and opt out at this point, and I don't know where Justin C was going to head next. Was he going to head to Quake, maybe, or Catfish? But who knows?
I think he's getting his save and quit. I think he's headed for Death Mountain. He can get Eastside Death Mountain with Mirror and Hammer. There's a lot of items up there.
There's one of your rods, by the way.
In the Waterfall Ferry?
Yeah, we had Ice Rod in the Waterfall Ferry.
Okay. Okay, looks like Justin Z is going to head for Village of Outcasts.
Right, with the death there, what I was more questioning is what was Ether turns out to be on the Zora ledge. What I was more questioning is what Justin Z was going to do had he not died, but obviously the death makes him change his route. Now we get to the one item here that is within logic, that is Zora, as we mentioned before, because the power gloves are available to our runners. This is totally within logic, so it could be something available immediately, but it's just 20 rupees, a Watt scam.
It looks like Justin Z is going to head right up into Skullwoods.
That's an interesting decision at this point. Hunter Seeker's now going to go into the Dark World.
Yeah, by all rights, this is not going to be a beatable dungeon because he would need to spike both a sword and the fire rod in this dungeon as the two non-dungeon items. It can happen, but I don't think anyone's going to actively gamble, so this is just a check. And I didn't catch what he got there in that first chest.
He got something.
He got a thing. And a big key. Hunter Seeker gonna go get his hype haul over here, so I want to revisit Hype Cave. Now is the time.
And
looks... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So this time around, Hype Cave was all filled with hype.
Absolutely, and okay, interesting movement through the pinball room there by Justin Z, and a hook shot as the first item here in Skull Woods.
Well, the first item that we know of, but he is going after something else. So we know that what he got in that first chest was not any of the non-dungeon items. It was the map.
It was okay, I was gonna say it was either a map or a compass. And okay, gonna take the death, get a couple hearts. Good call. And looks like Hunter Seeker's gonna head west and go check Stump Kid and probably Digging Game as well.
I would not have taken that death right there because of the fact you got to walk through this all over again.
Yeah, it seemed a little ambitious. I would have just hookshotted across, dealt with the red jelly, but I think that Justin Z maybe didn't remember that he had fallen in the hole. Maybe didn't think he'd routed it that way.
Oh, Fire Rod in the south of Haunted Grove.
Oh, that is a nice find. That might put Hunter Seeker up to Skullwood sooner than later. Kind of not his first choice of things, that 5-heart greenmail moth, but that might be what the seed's pushing for.
Well, we know it's pushing for another sword before we can get to that point.
And looked like Justin Z didn't go all the way into Mummy Statue Room, so potentially leaving an item that's checkable for him behind.
Yeah.
But it was just a 1 in 3, so he's going to go directly to where he knows there is an item, which is this haunted ledge.
Yeah, graveyard ledge here, a very nasty spot to go through without the either the boots or the Titan Smith, because you got to take the long way around. And so Hunter Seeker's got a couple of nice items. And here's the interesting thing. You mentioned about being Mothula potentially being beatable once we get the sword. That Ether Medallion, could that be possible entry into Turtle Rock once we get a sword? Because that now we have all the items to make it beatable if that turns out to be Ether required.
Yeah, we still need the mitts to get in.
Oh, it's true. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so we're not quite at full mast on that T-Rock, but it's definitely, especially on Hunter Seeker's mind, Justin Z's still devoid of any rods. So we'll be a little longer before he's too worried about that one. And it looks like Hunter Seeker is making that Death Mountain play.
Totally understandable. It is something that's within the way here. And oh, there's our first sword.
Yeah, it gets you the old man save and quit, which is nice. That Dead Rock being a jerk today. A jerk every day, but showcasing it today. And what's Sea House gonna have? Okay, a bottle. That's gonna put Sick Kid in logic, and so I think Justin Z will probably mirror real quick and just check that off. Nope, right into Thieves Town. Or no, debated. Chest game it is.
We get ourselves the red shield, and so Hunter Seeker now heading himself into the dark world here to head towards the Tower of Hera. I would assume that at this point Justin Z's plan is to finish off the Village of Outcasts, also do the Sick Kid check, and then head into...
Yeah, Thieves is a completely beatable dungeon right now. And, I mean, the runners have Cane already, so, and Hammer,
Silver
so
arrows at the Ether.
Okay. Wonder if we'll see any runner choose to go back for that. That could be an easy stop on the way to Ganon's Tower. And so I'd expect both runners to probably grab it. It does save enough time to justify the play.
Yeah, Justin Z taking care of his health before heading into Thieves Town. Hunter Seeker going to grab this key here in the Tower of Hera. Mistaken, apparently it was not a sword that was at the old man. So it must have been an arrow, either arrows or an arrow capacity upgrade.
I think the old man, when you led him through the cave, was a bomb capacity today.
Or it could have been that too. Well, we find the boots, by the way, in Hera.
That's a big find there for Hunter Seeker. Especially with Justin Z kind of tromping around slowly through Thieves Town. This is one of the dungeons where the boots stand to save a good amount of time. Although swordless boots are a very dangerous thing, especially with 5-heart greenmail. Where are the full heart containers for the runners?
Ganon's Tower.
Fair enough. It's a good place for them.
You expect this to be a healthy steed?
No, this one's atypically unhealthy, but Hunter Seeker's setting up for his Death Warp, using that lack of magic very well, or lack of health very well, rather. Lack of magic, he got that refill, but... Big key, and back up to the top with a couple more hearts.
Executed it just as well as he needed to at this point. One spot here that Justin Z has an advantage over Hunter Seeker is the fact that he's got the hook shot, and he is using the hook shot pretty proficiently against the torches.
Yeah, hookshot's one of the better movement items for Thieves Town specifically. There are a ton of hookable spots. These statues here, I'm sure we'll see Justin Z read whether he wants to use it here in Hellway. And looks like the patterning doesn't line up for him to get too much out of it. That firebar can really get in the way of some of those hook shots, but just having it as a luxury is really nice. Plus it kills these, whatever they are, lizards in the upstairs that deal 2 hearts a pop. These are lethal lizards right now, but it kills them in one go, so it's a very nice item to have just for the upstairs here.
Well, you asked where the heart containers are. It turns out one is in Hera.
Oh, that is not as safe of a doorway as you might think it is initially.
Yeah.
Justin Z not getting hit, but playing with fire there a little bit.
Yeah, he's playing this very safe, and that doorway was exactly a dangerous doorway to shape up. Now he's got room for a little bit of failure there with the extra heart. But back downstairs we go, and now time to deal with more enemies that can kill you in 2 shots or less.
Yeah, 3 hearts much, much, much better than 2 hearts in Thieves Town. And wow, Patrick's star is being an RNG movement scum today, but Justin Z navigating carefully around it.
You expect them to behave?
No. This seed has not shown much in the way of being friendly to the runners thus far. It's given a couple interesting items, but it's been stingy exactly where it needs to, and Justin Z making more good use of the hook shot as we're getting our Paradox Cave check eventually. Looks like we're going to do Spiral Cave first. We do have the boots, so Hunter Seeker's going to see what Spiral Cave is first.
Alright, we get ourselves a piece of heart, and that will help Justin Z get him up to 6 hearts, getting ready for the blind fight. So Blind's going to have the map.
Okay, yeah, I lost count in Thieves Town, so I missed. But Blind will, more importantly, have a crystal, so Justin Z is going to go through and definitely kill Blind at this point. Or definitely attempt to kill Blind. Has a red potion in reserve and 6 hearts, plus cane and hammer, so don't see too many likely problems with this fight.
Yeah, we're going to see Justin Z use the cane and Samaria strats, because this is a whole lot better than going through with the hammer. So with stage 1 pretty fine here, no major issues. Lays down the block, gets ready for him to spawn again, and nope, he comes down to the bottom. So the strategy that most runners want to do with the cane and Samaria is to wait for Blind to be on his lower part of the sine wave.
Yeah, and Justin Z showed it there for hits 8 and 9. Lay the block, get the hit, and then immediately blow it up when Blind gets to the bottom of that movement and hit Blind with one of those sideways moving particles. And Hunter Seeker getting that blue mail. A good pairing for the bad pairing of Fire Rod. But Fire Rod also putting in work.
We apparently got Titansmith somewhere on this path.
Whoa!
Must have been down in the lower part of the Paradox Cave, because we weren't really paying attention during the entire fight.
Yeah, we were both so riveted by Cane Strat's Blind that those Titansmiths are big. That's going to be, here we are on Dark Death Mountain. Now, Hunter Seeker doesn't yet have the hookshot, so if the back of Hookshot Cave has something, when Justin Z gets up here, that will be a potential advantage on this first trip. It might require Hunter Seeker to come back up Death Mountain an extra time.
Yeah, we've seen that come into play before, so we'll have to stay tuned when Justin Z gets up here as we go ahead and do the digging game. We know that isn't for anything major. Believe it's just an aerial capacity upgrade. As Hunter Seeker goes and shows us what's in the Super Bunny Cave, we got our first sword.
I was hoping for a sword sometime soon. We're almost a half hour in. It's about the right amount of time to do swordless for V29. And Justin Z is going to go get his Fire Rod here in just a second.
So we know that it turns out ether. So that is the ether going to be required for Turtle Rock. And we know where ether is. It is on the Zora ledge.
Yeah, so that puts Turtle Rock behind the flippers in logic. But I mean, the runners do have Boots and Moon Pearl, so we might see someone sequence break that ether.
Yeah, we already knew that beating Turtle Rock was behind flippers in the logic because Ice Rod being at the waterfall ferry. But
yeah,
now we know it for certain.
I don't know, with Swamp Palace being a pendant, do you aggressively sequence break ether on Zora Ledge here? I'm tempted.
Ooh, that's a very interesting idea. Yeah, we could do the water dash to score this thing a whole lot sooner.
Exactly. It does require fake flippering after storing the water walk, but like that's pretty easy because they do have the Moon Pearl already, so they can just set the double water walk in the waterfall cave. So I wouldn't be surprised to see someone go grab that ether. I mean, Hunter Seeker's the only one who knows about it right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things open to him at this point, so we're not going to see it happen for a while. And even despite everything else, you still want to try to wait until the end to do Turtle Rock, but who knows? There could still be a very important item in there.
Yeah, if we're looking at something where the runners are like, okay, flippers are the last thing, then I definitely expect that play. Which is good because you don't see it come up all that often, but this is definitely a seed for it. Also, I like that because it would mean that we wouldn't be seeing the runners need to go into Swamp Palace today. But Justin Z is going to be on his way up Death Mountain, as Hunter Seeker looks like he's making that play to the Village Outcast, so we're going to see some overlapping content here as the runners kind of each clean up areas that the other has done. Not atypical for the 30 to 45 minute range.
So that's rude, actually. The fact that this seed wants you to only need the flippers that we know of at this point, because we don't know if we're going to have to peek into Swamp Palace at any point in time. But that's rude, the fact that this seed wants you to peek into or get the flippers to get the ether and the ice rod to beat Turtle Rock.
Yeah, one of the really nice things is it means that we won't see an Ice Rod scavenger hunt by all rights, because no one's getting into Turtle Rock looking for the Ice Rod without having checked Waterfall Fairy Cave unless something truly bizarre happens. Oh, Justin Z does not fancy that fancy silver-tipped arrows location. Getting some book mashing.
Well, I think that's still a very interesting location for it. And the fact that, it's just around the corner from Ganon's tower. You could use it for the tower trip up if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, silvers are a nice find, and they aren't going to take more time to get than they would save. Justin Z not happy with the Boots location, or more likely not happy with having to do Hera Basement. But with Hera being a crystal, I'm actually not ever too sad about this, because the time sink that both runners are going to need to take.
Yeah, this is a time that both of these runners are going to have to use up. It's not like one person decides they're going to go down to the basement and get it for a junk item.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Z knows this is his big key. It's going to let him go upstairs. He's going to go up, find the other item in a pretty straightforward way. So, like, yeah, this sucks in the overall scheme of things, but everyone who's playing this seed has to do it, so it's not too bad from that standpoint.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that both runners are going to have to do it. Both runners are going to have to go the same way, so maybe he might just be more upset that the boots were up there for routing purposes, that he could have had the boots a whole lot sooner if he made the earlier trip to Death Mountain. But little does he know that he has one particular item that's going to maybe benefit him if one of 3 chests have something important in it. Yeah, we're talking about the 3 that are over in Ice Rot, or rather in Hookshot Cave.
Exactly, he's going to be able to get those on this first trip to Dark Death Mountain, so if there's something there, it's going to be pretty big.
So there's the heart container, and now Justin, you got the second item. There we go.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah, he just realized that the boots was the first item in here. Maybe he forgot about it because of the trip downstairs. But thankfully realized it before he did set up the hookshot. He was like, oh, wait, that's right. I did pick up the boots.
Putting them to use right away. Gonna get that. That was an interesting hit there on that Moldorm. But pretty clean hammer Moldorm fight. Hunter Seeker has his sword, so is able to dash through a little. Well, also the boots, and is able to dash through it all, but dash through a little more safely here, moving around Thieves Town. So.
Yeah, this is where you're talking
nice.
about earlier with being able to save a little bit of time because you have the boots in this dungeon.
Justin Z is going to go to East Death Mountain, go over and get his sword, and probably full clear Dark Death Mountain with the exception of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I don't see why not at this point. And we do see him checking the ledge first, popping into the cave. Let's go ahead and see what he finds in here. We already know that's nothing important for him. What he's looking for is one cave over.
And actually, I should restate that we will probably not see him clear Spike Cave on this trip.
Yeah, at this point, you can't really do Spike Cave. Not with the hearts that these runners have. You're asking for trouble. We've seen, or at least I've seen, several runs now that have come down to deaths inside that cave, and it's very unfortunate at that point.
Where was Cave of Burna for Hunter Seeker? Was it here in
No.
Okay.
It was King's Tomb.
Okay, then yeah. We aren't going to see Spike Cave or Turtle Rock on this trip. But there's our Titan's Mitts. Left chest of the bottom part of the top part of Paradox Cave. I don't know. This cave's weird.
That's why it's called Paradox Cave, because right is wrong and wrong is right.
This is one of those Paradox Caves where 2 is greater than 5, in terms of progression at least. But nice blue outline now for Justin Z, as we're getting hammer and sword blind here at a Hunter Seeker. A little off script, so he's going to need to kind of clutch this one out.
Yeah, he's got the red potion. He's got the cane of burn it. There we go.
Yeah, we're getting ready for some cane strats. That blue mail came up big. Pretty low hearts still for both runners. Each of them on 7 hearts.
Yeah, and Justin C's going to go opt to use the Turtle Rock portal. Obviously, he can't open it at this point, but this now lands him up to do the Hookshot Cave first and then go into Super Bunny.
And there's that Turtle Rock requirement, and you have neither Sword nor Ether Medallion, Justin Z, so you're going to have to run right by that one. But get a good look.
I love the fact that you thought about it, though. So we get the bombs out of here. Now everything else is a mystery to us. And we find, the cave,
Ooh.
which we know didn't lead to anything major, but that does now open the door for Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Bombo's medallion, too.
that's potentially 2 hits.
So it'll be interesting to see if Justin C opts to go check Spike Cave while he's up here. He does have the protection now to help him out. There's the sword.
Yeah, with
And There's the Red Rupee and Justin Z. I'm not certain what these sword slashes are about. You're 39 minutes in.
Yeah, if this is basically a terminal location check. There's nothing else to do on Death Mountain, so yeah, I'm not at all surprised to see Spike Cave now. Those
Hunter
Lionels
Seeker,
will beach up.
yeah, Hunter Seeker now picking up the hook shot at this point. Justin C getting the beneficial fairy, and we'll head into Spike Cave. Let's see what we got.
That was a pretty clutch fairy there. Was that yeah, it was one of the fairy bushes.
Yeah.
Coming up pretty big.
That's why you see the runners go and try to grab those. And thankfully he switches on over to the cave before he ends up taking the death. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Spike Cave. Oh, the bow!
Oh, baby, that's a big find. That is gonna send Justin Z in a completely different direction.
Eastern and the Palace of Darkness now can be combined into one.
Yeah, we know Hunter Seeker's gonna need to get up there for those 4 locations that are left.
And the thankful thing for Hunter Seeker is the fact that it's 4 locations as opposed to just a single one. Gives him more encouragement to get up there. But the problem is, you see where Hunter Seeker's going right now?
This is leads to a closet.
This is going to end with a dead end.
Yeah, and it might be... I think one of the best things to find here might be flips. Because flips could point him to Ether and T-Rock.
Okay, so he's only checking the back closet. I was more worried that he was going to go into Eastern at this point.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he doesn't choose to go into Eastern there.
Oh, but could he be setting up a portal to do it now? I don't know. No, he's going to it towards Agena. Yeah, that's where he's going. He's going towards Agena and Desert now.
Yeah, it looks like this is kind of a Sphere 1 cleanup, but skipping Eastern because maybe the bow's elsewhere, and we know it is.
And we know Hunter Seeker has an item that would get it for him right now without popping into Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, it's just a one-off location. I mean, progression in Spike Cave is pretty rare, and so I imagine Justin Z feels pretty good about that find.
You know, only with 20 rupees this time around.
And Hunter Seeker gonna go check into Desert Ledge, and then also see what's going on at Desert. We still don't know what the Myra Medallion is because we don't yet have the flute. Where do you think that flute's gonna show up?
Turtle Rock. I think this is going to be one of those cases where Turtle Rock is not the final destination.
That wouldn't shock me, honestly. I think that's a pretty strong call. I'll take another high density location. I'll take Pod for flute.
I'm saying Pod for flippers.
That seems more likely, but you know, just to call something different.
We can't have 2 commentators singing the same way. Curses.
We can, but then neither of us gets to gloat when the other person loses, so... or is wrong. And what's the fun in that?
Why must you speak so logically?
I suppose I mustn't, but... maybe I choose to. I don't know.
You've got good logic. Don't fight yourself on it right now.
I'll take the credit. I'll take the compliment. Nice hook speed from Justin Z here, speeding up his Eastern movement. So far, nice Eastern Palace, and Hunter Seeker doing a pretty good job here in Desert, stopping to feel that wall, but otherwise pretty clean.
Yeah, but here's the problem for Hunter Seeker. He's in a dungeon that he does not need to beat, that we know of.
Yeah, no definite need to be here, but at the same time, if there's progression here, it pays off. It's that much more valuable. So
Absolutely. 10 arrow upgrade, the first of the 2 items here in Desert. The second item is going to be on the Lamb Molus. I do not know what that item was. We didn't get to see it.
yeah, it seems like Justin Z's continuing with his quest to finish Eastern. So we'll see what else we learn as he goes up and checks Armos Knights and gets at least a crystal out of it. So at this point, we know where the Ice Rod is for Justin Z, and we know where Ether Medallion is. And conversely, we know where Bombos and the Bow are for Hunter Seeker.
Yeah.
We're still missing for Logic the Flippers, and for completion the Flute and a Sword upgrade. But I think that's all we're looking for still. And maybe the Meyer Medallion of Quake if it's there.
Yeah, and that's the part that could be getting really tricky, is we may not find out until very late what we need to get into Mystery Mire.
Those seeds are always the ones that feel the worst. And oh, looks like a piece of heart from the Armos Knights is the last item here in Eastern.
Well, I totally saw that item.
Yeah, that one showed up great. But yeah, I think if Myers Quake, that it's going to be the medallion in the Meyer shed. Because that's just how V29 tends to line things up.
Yes, I know. I love it when it does that too. That's totally rude.
It's so polarizing. You go, you check the Meyer medallion, you're on absolute life tilt. And then you go check Meyer shed, and then you feel really silly about it. And it's pretty great, honestly. I like the V29 has a way of trolling us like that.
Hunter Seeker cannot be feeling good right now after pulling out the arrow capacity upgrade and rupees out of Desert. So Hunter Seeker now probably is hoping that this turns out to be a ped required seed just to balance out what he just did.
Yeah, and do you think we see the oh no, looks like he might be making the play to get his bow. I was gonna say, do you think we see the play to Skullwoods to get that ped check in?
Getting 1 item versus 4, so Hunter Seeker's decision to go this way makes total sense. Won't be happy when he finds out that he did pass up the bow, but again, getting these 3 out of Hookshot Cave, he can't be leaving Spike Cave behind. If he leaves Spike Cave behind, if he decides to save and quit after checking the Hookshot Cave, that will be a fatal mistake.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you're making this extra climb just for these 3 locations unless you've already cleared everything else pretty much. And looks like so far, true to form, Pod has been pretty empty for Justin Z, but we are just about coming into the part that's going to get exciting. We'll see what's at the Vanilla Big Key location. Hey, it's a Vanilla Big Key.
I could fancy some vanilla ice cream at this point in time.
And last 3 of Hookshot Cave. Hopefully that
yeah, hopefully that
cape sparks something if it hasn't already.
Yeah. and judging by the fact that he just fell off, yep, he is going to go check Spike Cave. Some runners who may be not used, some novice runners could probably make that mistake and they find themselves in a world of hurt. Now, Hunter Seeker's going to have to be careful of these Lionels, but takes care of it pretty fine. Does still have the red potion, so health-wise is all right. I'm surprised he didn't try to do any of the bushes to get some extra health, because this is a place where you do not want to die.
Yeah, no half magic yet. I mean, he can make it in and out, or just in with this.
This worries me. This worries me.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
gonna be
this
close.
it's not gonna make it. By
You
the time
can't
he uses that,
activate
he's
that.
done. Yep, he's dead.
Oh no!
That is a huge death. If he doesn't come back right now, that is a huge death.
Yeah, that is bad news. Oh, and he's at Link's house.
Yeah, he's not going back. That is now a loose square. That is huge here. That could be the difference right there. And the problem is even if Hunter Seeker was able to use that potion with a half a heart left, the spike damage would have come first. He would have lost before the potion went off. So that was going to be a death no matter what at that point. That is a huge death to take. Now, it looks like he is heading in the direction of the pyramid and the Palace of Darkness. Now, the good thing about the Palace of Darkness is it gives you the compass in the first chest. You know you have to come back with the bow.
Yeah, although he does have that red potion he hasn't drank yet, so we might see him dig behind the bow in the logic.
Oh, it looks like he was setting himself maybe for a death warp at that point. I don't know, but Justin C laid down a bomb prior to getting the piece of heart to refill his health. Hunter Seeker in the half magic probably feeling a little salty about that because that would have helped him with the spike cave.
Yeah, now Justin C's been laying a lot of bombs around a lot of chests here in Pod, and so I think maybe he's just not feeling so great about how things are going. We know that things are going pretty swimmingly, but I think maybe he's feeling a little bit of the pressure of the race, maybe not happy with what he's finding at this point, because there's a lot of bombs getting laid by these chests.
Good point. And maybe it's just a case of him just feeling that he's behind at this point, but he has no reason to feel that way. He's doing pretty well, in all honesty, in this race, and he got the later boots, but the difference in the boots really didn't make much of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, the boots versus hookshot. Hookshot sort of required a bonus Death Mountain climb from Hunter Seeker, and I mean, the boots about 2 minutes an hour, I think, is kind of the heuristic for what they save you. So it feels like it's a ton. Like when you're walking around without the boots, it feels awful.
And Hunter Seeker doing a save and quit, so he knows he can't do anything further in here. He's not going to check Eastern at this point. It's heading to Sanctuary. I'm wondering where exactly Hunter Seeker's going to head to next.
This is the Skullwoods. This is Skullwoods in Ped. It has to be.
The last probably 5 minutes has not made Hunter Seeker feel good whatsoever about his position in this race. Taking the death of Spike Cave, especially when he finds out what Spike Cave has.
Oh yeah, that's just savage and no one feels good about that. I don't even think Justin Z feels good about that.
Admire Justin C's attempt to use the hammer here, but he's taking a lot of damage trying to pull this off.
Yeah, you got
Let's finish him off, though.
You got 9 arrows, man. You did have hits to give. Shoutouts to Blue Mail, but...
Red Mail now!
Sure enough. Oh boy. Now he has even more hits to give. Good job, Helmasaur. And Mummy Statue Room with the +5 bomb capacity upgrade, or the vanilla big key location behind Mummy Statue Room, but I always think of it as the Mummy Statue Room item because that's really the room that you have to beat to go get it.
So now we know that we can go right straight to Mothula. There is 2 items inside Skullwoods, the hook shot being required. And I'm wondering, this must be a catfish check here for Justin Z.
And I'm thinking for Hunter Seeker, this is a what? Oh, it's not a what's on Ped check yet.
Yeah, he's gonna kill Mothula and then do the Ped.
Yeah, and it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really, as far as in which order you do them, because Skull and not a pendant. half magic coming in big, gonna save some of the stress of a fighter sword moth. You'll have a little bit extra magic to work with.
Did you say you're offering half a dozen? I'll take a half a dozen donuts.
And I feel like if I tried to eat more than like 2 donuts, it would just like put me in a coma, and I would not be very valuable for commentary. So I'll take a rain check on those donuts, but half a dozen does sound pretty tasty. Just 100 rupees. Can use that to buy some donuts or bombs, or a big bomb even. For Justin Z, he's gonna go see his ether medallion and his turtle rock access.
So, as Hunter Seeker gets ready to check the pedestal, in just a moment, there's a couple of sword slashes of that ether, which he now knows that flippers are required for that. There's a few items that could be on the pedestal at this point, but very limited to what would be required for our go mode. The flute could be on the pedestal.
Yeah, flute is an item that within logic is allowed. Quake medallion could be.
All right, here we go.
That's pretty much it.
If you die, I will revive you. It is a fairy and a bottle. Sorry, guys, the pedestal is not required, and Hunter Seeker's probably feeling a little worse about that just because of the fact that Hunter Seeker did full clear Desert Palace for a pendant.
Okay, and Justin Z is choosing to stay in logic and go hunt his flippers before he gets his ether medallion.
For now.
For now, yes.
We may see it come to a little bit later on. We've seen a race that was actually decided earlier in this week 6 progression area here, the 2-week period that has been round 6 of this tournament, where run did come down to somebody doing the water dash to get the bow early.
Yeah, I mean that's big. Was it a flippers required seed? Because I'm a lot more hesitant if I know I'm going to need the flippers, but with Pendant Swamp, like, I just want to go get my ether medallion.
In this case, it was a flippers required seed, but the flippers being in Palace of Darkness in that first chest, it resulted in it not necessarily being a double dip a pod for the person who did the water dash.
Exactly, and sometimes that little bit of time save is all you need. Looks like Hunter Seeker is going to go do his graveyard ledge, and we'll see him head up, but he's not setting himself up to go get that ether right now, so looks like that's not on the menu yet.
If both of these runners are going to do the setup, they're going to do it with either the Mini Moldorm Cave or the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, is there a way to keep it all the way from Skull Woods? I don't think so.
I don't think so. There's a way you can get to the Hylia Island, where we know there's a heart container, by doing it via the Skull Woods way and going through the portal. But I think as soon as you touch the land in the light world, or use the portal in the light world, then you'd lose it. And in this case, we need to store the fake flippers and the water walk at the same time.
It looks like we're going to get a frog check here. See what's at the Smiths.
Has either of these runners checked the pet cave yet?
No, we've not seen this location. Both runners were over here most recently prior to having Titan's Mitts, so this is all new right here on Hunter Seeker's side.
We have a very solid modular fight for Justin Z. Now, he did not get the item out of the statue room that you call, so he's going to check this chest. Will be disappointed to find it probably a small key at this point, and there's a piece of heart inside Pet Cave.
Yeah, it's possible he just forgot about not having checked Mummy Statue Room or Vanilla Big Key on his first pass through, because that's something that runners will very often double up with their front check. But he may also just be routing it in. Or no, they had the Big Key at first, so he did the Big Key check, and there are the flippers.
At the Breadsmiths! We're now back in logic.
All right,
And
so this
by the
could
way-
be bad. Go ahead.
Bad, but it could be good. It will give Hunter Seeker a reason to go back up the mountain.
It will, but it might put him into what's otherwise a go mode Turtle Rock. And I mean, you've really spent about the same amount of time, but it could be a last dungeon Turtle Rock that he's going to see sooner.
Take a look at the map here. Now, here's the other problem, and this is the problem I thought you were going to bring up. Guess where he's heading?
Yeah, this is one of the things that really worried me, is it looks like we're seeing that swamp play.
This is a bigger problem than what we just saw from the potential of going to Turtle Rock not in go mode, because going into Turtle Rock not in go mode really isn't a huge deal unless Laser Bridge is not required.
Now, if the flute's in swamp, this is big, and this honestly may break it to the point where it gives Hunter Seeker, I won't say the lead, but like a big catch-up here, because into Green Pendant Swamp, I mean, it's a 7-item location, so Justin Z might not leave it forever, but no one really wants to go into Pendant Swamp, and the flippers are otherwise not required. So if there's progression here, it's pretty far down the line in the logic for Justin Z. And so I do like this play by Hunter Seeker. He's pressing the advantage that he sees that he has in the flippers. This is... If you feel like you're behind and you just got the flippers, you can go Green Pendant Swamp, and I can get behind that play.
I really, at this point, think the next progression will be Turtle Rock. I really do think it's screaming at me at this point. And Justin C may get a whiff of this when he does go grab that ether, because then he'll have access to the waterfall as well.
Yeah, and we'll see. We may see Justin Z actually make this similar swamp play. We'll see what he does with his flippers.
I mean, but in Hunter Seeker's case, I want to see any reason to get him back up that mountain. Maybe even if we get a sword upgrade. And we see Justin Z storing some of the pegs. He's going to take the breadsmith back, get the flippers, and then he's going to complete the pegs afterwards, because the game does store how many pegs that you've knocked down, despite you transferring to the other world.
Yeah, it's very strange how that works, but it's always kind of nifty to see.
So there's the flippers. What, no bomb for the breadsmith, sir? You bombed everything else, Justin Z.
Just chest. The purple chest might get a bomb. We didn't see. I didn't hear it get a bomb.
Oh, sword upgrade in the big chest. So as you can see, he only needed 9 pegs to knock down before the progression was found here, or the peg cave opened up. So that's the advantage of doing it the way that we saw that from Justin Z. Now, getting the sword upgrade is also big for Hunter Seeker, because you remember what's that ether. I want to find every way possible to get Hunter Seeker back up that mountain so he can get that bow.
Yeah. Comically, he won't be able to get the silvers to finish Argus Phase 2 easily. But he does have the fire rods, so it's a pretty easy 2-cycle. So it's not going to be that bad, but it is just funny that he can go get the silvers, knows where they are, but can't have them for this boss fight. And looks like, yeah, he's on the gamble all the way down the line, make the play over to left side swamp. He's been in Pendant Desert already. He's in Pendant Swamp. He's committed to finding something that his opponent hasn't found in these spaces.
I would be very surprised if Justin C goes into swamp at this point. All right, bombos. Bombs.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to get... Oh, not an Agina check. but at least the desert ledge check. And yeah, save and quit from there. So Justin Z passing up on the option to terminate Agina. Is he checked Agina already?
No, he has not.
Wow,
I think
bold.
Justin C's on that path right now where he's got dungeons that he can beat, and Turtle Rock at this point is not a dungeon that he can beat, but he can access. Just wait until he finds that ice rod.
Yeah, I think Ice Rod and Ether in quick succession are going to plant it in Justin Z's head that he wants to be in Turtle Rock, and I think that's where he's going to head next. But I'm surprised that if you're going to be save and quitting from Desert, that you don't do it from Agina's Cave. And here's kind of our last volley of things from Swamp. This is our last chance to have something more valuable than Sword Upgrade.
Like I said, I'm just looking for any reason to get Hunter Seeker up that mountain.
Yeah, 11th Heart.
To get up to where the bow turned out to be. Hunter Seeker died in Spike Cave trying to lift the rock. This is the third time I've seen a runner die lifting the rock in a critical spot with something big in Spike.
Wow, that would seem like it would be something that comes up far less frequently than that, but that's crazy that you've seen that happen. There's that ice rod for Justin Z. But yeah, we know the bow's there. Justin Z knows the bow was there, and Hunter Seeker just knows that there's something that he almost had.
And he'll be really upset when he finds out what was there.
Yeah,
Justin Z about to grab his ether again. I would make it a very easy guess that he's going to Turtle Rock next.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle Rock's a completable crystal dungeon. It has 6 items for you if you include Mimic Cave. And the way he's been playing so far, he's been saying, let the game put the items I need in front of me. And that's what the Turtle Rock play does.
And for all we know, we could find Go Mode in Turtle Rock. We're down to, at the very least, a sword upgrade and a flute. At most, sword upgrade, flute, and the Quake Medallion for Go Mode.
Yeah, and if Green Pendant is nothing, that's gonna be an empty swamp for Hunter Seeker. I mean, Master Sword could turn out to be a big thing, but it's not exactly what he was looking for there in that swamp.
Very unlikely that it turns out to be the big move to help him out at this point. And so Hunter Seeker moving his way, heading to cash in the green pennant to Agina, as Justin Z making his way up to Turtle Rock, trying to finish off the 6 of 7 crystals. And just a reminder for the people tuning in at this point, this is a 4-1 match between these runners. Winner goes to 5-1. They're qualified for the 128-person bracket. Loser, they drop down to 4-2. They have a stressful week 7 coming up next week.
I'm so excited for those week 7 matches. I can't express enough how eager I am to participate, to watch, to commentate. All those 4-2 matches are going to be absolutely fire. It's going to be awesome.
Got some people commenting in chat regarding what is being said by Blind when Blind does his usual thing. Blind gives you the not so helpful hint. Meyer requires Ether, Bombos, or Quake. It's giving you the name of all 3 of the medallions. No help whatsoever.
It's a nice either pun that oh my gosh, there it is. Justin Z found the flute.
Okay, so that's an interesting decision for him. Oh, okay, I thought he was going to leave the dungeon at this point.
And he is.
Oh, he is? Wow. So he wants to find out if he's in Go Mode right now.
Yeah, and it's a bold call because it could require him to ascend Death Mountain basically again straight away. But I don't know. You can go all the way.
Yeah, you can finish this dungeon. This is a beatable dungeon for Justin C. So it's interesting for him to do that, especially considering
half
the fact
magic.
Especially with.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially with Go Mode, Turtle Rock isn't that big of a difference.
Yeah, Laser Bridge is really dense. This is an interesting call for sure from Justin Z. We'll have to ask him about this one. It might be that he just doesn't want to do Fighter Sword, but he has half magic and Fire Rod.
And the hammer as well. All right, let's see what medallion is required to get in. It's Bombos.
Line did not lie.
Well, how can Blind lie? It tells you that either Bombos or Quake was required.
I mean, I didn't say it was within the scope of possibility that Blind was incorrect, but we've now confirmed it was either Quake or Bombos to get into Misery Mire.
So now we know that Justin C is a sword upgrade away from Go Mode. And there it is!
Wow. Right here in Checkerboard.
1 hour, 11 minutes, 10 seconds. Justin Z gets the sword he knows he needs to be in.
It's Go Mode.
Wow.
So, do we think Justin Z is going to go all the way back up Death Mountain to get those silvers for Vidi and then save and quit out of that again?
That would be.
Or are we actually going to do a dungeon? I think we're actually going to do Misery Mire. But yeah, this puts Hunter now into Turtle Rock, but at a pretty distinct disadvantage here. There's not too many ways to spin this one. Missing that Spike Cave and just choosing to not use the boots in Spike Cave with the cane on was ultimately a very costly decision.
So now we know that Justin Z will have the Master Sword here for the return trip up to Turtle Rock. It wasn't a nasty decision. You wanted to know if you're in Go Mode, but it's just an interesting decision considering the fact that Turtle Rock is beatable, and the time you spend going up Turtle Rock a second time. But anyways, either way, you're going to have to go back up the mountain twice, so maybe that's behind Justin Z's mindset.
Yeah, all I could think was it was an aversion to Fighter Sword Turtle Rock, which makes sense because Pokies suck with Fighter Sword, but with Fire Rod and Half Magic, that really mitigates that, so we'll have to ask what that line was. It was definitely an interesting choice. It's not ultimately going to punish him with an extra trip up Death Mountain or anything, but it just seemed like a very low-value play.
Absolutely. And so Hunter Seeker now going to be heading here to get the flute. What does Hunter Seeker end up doing after he's done with Turtle Rock is going to be probably the biggest thing at this point in this run, because of the fact that he needs to get to Spike Cave. This is his last chance to make Spike Cave any sort of priority for him.
Yeah, he's going to go get his bow at Spike Cave. I have a lot of faith in that. Meanwhile, Justin Z got a key distribution that gave him our so-called Godmire. And so looks like he's setting up for spooky strats. See if he's able to nail this.
He's hit the spike a couple of times, and it doesn't look like he's got it. So he's going to have to do this conventional way.
Yeah.
And then he realizes that's right. Oh, the tempered sword is in the chain chomp room.
Wow, yeah. So Justin Z will get that tempered sword.
Oh, he did get the setup. There's Justin Z. He did pull it off as he hit the, there we go.
Yep. Nice. That was a nice spooky mire.
Justin Z getting abused by the eyeballs at this point. Not a place where we want to take a death, so he may want to think about once the escape runs out using that red potion. Being down to 3 hearts, but seems to be doing pretty well.
He's got 19 arrows, so I think we're going to see him use 8 of them. No! He is very much holding on to his arrows.
Now he's decided to use his arrows. There we go.
Yeah, so choosing to use 7 of them instead of 8. 1 for the wall. But otherwise, pretty clean fight. Deciding to go hammer strats and thinking better of it. That hitbox is not the best, and that eyeball bounces and hits pretty hard, so... Good to see him safely through that fight.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to point out that the big key turned out to be in the Turtle Rock big chest, so they do have to spend that pokey key no matter what. We're going to see a Mimic Cave here from Hunter Seeker. We're not going to see that from Justin Z, but Justin Z knows that he's heading up to Turtle Rock, and because of the fact that the big key's all the way at its vanilla location, we know Justin Z is going to be getting that tempered sword.
So what's the best thing for Hunter Seeker in Mimic Cave that we could have? I know what my vote is. What do you think?
Considering his health right now, something to give him a heart, get him full health. It's not going to be. It's just 20 rupees.
Yeah, I was hoping for powder myself. But there's just not a lot left that we don't know where it is. We know all 4 sword upgrades. We know where all the mail is. We know all the go mode items.
And there comes the silver arrows, which we already knew coming up here.
Yeah, and this is a cool route by Justin Z. I actually like this, choosing to go up this way and get those silvers on the way over to Turtle Rock. I actually like that decision. It's going to save a little bit of backtracking, get him those silver arrows before Turtle Rock. He's probably not going to use any in Turtle Rock, but...
Yeah, he's got no reason to use them there. By the way, we do know that Laser Bridge is required.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had that vanilla big key, and so we're going to have to go dive in on Laser Bridge now.
I would not want to see the powder, honestly, at this point for Hunter Seeker, because that's a fetch quest. That takes him away from where he really needs to go.
I don't think there's any way he doesn't go back to Spike Cave, and then that there's any way he isn't just super, super upset about that bow location, but, like, that's one where the seed just, it got him good. And that happens.
And he's going to know at that point that if Justin Z finishes in the next 15 minutes, and it's likely that Justin Z will finish in the next 15 minutes, that's what's going to cost him. Right then and there.
There's not a bow there on Laser Bridge, and Justin Z getting his tempered sword. So Hunter Seeker's gonna be able to finish up Turtle Rock and then hopefully go right over to that Spike Cave. Hopefully he doesn't decide to do the, well, I missed it before and I need to commit to it not being anything and full clear the rest of the game plan.
Exactly, and that's what I'm worried about. But this is why I'm saying that this is his last chance. This is his last chance to make Spike Cave a priority.
Yeah, and I think for the third time, I have the utmost faith that he will do that. But ultimately, we're going to see, you know, how he chooses to prioritize it, and not menuing to Fire Rod before getting that 5th slash in. Maybe just a little bit of an oversight. That floor is going to be icy either way, though, so it's not going to end up changing the quality of the fight. Does get a 2-cycle. Looks like, yeah, okay, yeah, he gets a 2-cycle anyway, so didn't end up affecting the Trinex fight too much. And we see Justin Z is not going to gamble on the big chest. So, as much as he's been sort of throwing bombs at chests and seeming like he was indicating that he felt like...
Oh, the big key!
He did get... Oh, wow.
He didn't use the key that he has as an arsenal to get the big key chest. Yeah. And now he realizes that thankfully to that text box that says, hey, look, buddy, you got to go back and use that key. Sorry.
Yeah. Here I completely assumed that he'd gotten his big key, but yeah, that's a little bit of an oversight, but he knows what he's got to do. We'll see if the bombs come.
Okay, so Hunter Seeker's going to go get his silver arrows. This, again, last chance saloon for Hunter Seeker. And it's already going to be a position where he's already behind, and I do see bombs coming out. There we go.
There they are. There's the bombs. You got 23 left, so there's only 22 locations in Ganon's Tower, but we'll talk more about those in a couple minutes. But he's all set up and ready to go.
What are you talking about? We still got 6 more chests here in Turtle Rock to deal with.
That's true. For each chest on Laser Bridge that is not a small key, I expect a bomb.
All right, Hunter Seeker's about to get some bad news coming up here. Use the cane. There we go. Let's not die again.
I expect a bomb here from Hunter Seeker, too. All that requires a menu.
I expect some sword slashes. No, I guess we're not even going to get that.
No, just...
But there we go.
Face the camera, save and quit. He knows what he's got to do. All right, down to 21 bombs on Justin's east side. Will he have enough ammo to make it through the rest of this game?
Hunter Seeker now in go mode, but are probably about 5-6 minutes behind at this point.
Let's see, he's got Pod, he's got Myra, and he's got Eastern to do. Versus,
he's further behind. Yeah, you're right.
He's a solid 10, 12 behind at this point. Something needs to go very wrong for Justin Z to put Hunter Seeker in this race.
Yeah, I misunderestimated. That's right. He still has to go back to Eastern. He's still got to go back to the Palace of Darkness. And that right there is going to be the maximum of the time sink at this point. But yeah, unfortunately for Hunter Seeker, he's got a date with the 4 and 2s next week.
Hey, all I'll say is I'm open. Like, I'm looking forward to it, and if we have to battle, we have to battle. But you know, whatever smiling face shows up across from me.
No, you'll get me.
4-2 ain't so bad.
No, you'll get me next week.
That would be great. I'd love it. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, fun. He says.
It's V29. They're all fun.
Fun, he says. You have a weird and sick use of the word fun.
You signed up for a 7-round tournament, and you get to play a meaningful match in round 7. You can't ask for more than that. It's Swiss.
After going 1 and 2 in the first, after going 1 and 2 in the first 3 weeks, the fact I even have anything to play for in week 7 is astonishing enough.
Exactly. That's great. And I mean, Hunter Seeker, like you said, took that week 2 loss, and then rattled off 3 in a row, and he's gonna be, if things hold up like they look, he'll be, 1 win away from brackets still, and we'll have a shot next week, and that'll be great.
You know, somebody has a shot at right this moment.
A guessing game about a location. If you like integers, and I hope you do, guess an integer 1 to 22 inclusive, and those will map 1-to-1 with locations of the Ganon's Tower Big Key. And if you guess the right integer and you are the first among subs or supporters via bit donations to Speed Gaming channels, you're eligible for a leaderboard participation. And so, yeah, I see the numbers are going.
4.5 is not an integer, by the way.
No. 1 to 22 inclusive, integers only, please. -5 is not in the rules.
We'll stop in about 15 seconds from now as Justin Z will head on over towards the first chest, and we'll go ahead. And for the call again, it's Towers 22 chess program. Here is Maniacal.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 21. What's your guess, Rick? Oh, and there's 1 and 2. Small key and be in a bottle, and you need to lift the skull. There it is, and nice swag throw from Justin Z with that Cane Samaria block. An interesting iteration on the swag block kick. As Hunter Seeker finishes up Eastern Palace, and we're headed, making that right side play. Probably not full right side, probably just the 4 chests over here. But I'm going to guess 21 because Justin Z has 21 bombs left. He forgot to use 2 on the first 2 chests, though, so... Oh!
Well, he's going to use it now on these 4 now that he did this.
Yeah, this deserves some bombs. This has to draw some ire. Okay, 1 slash. And bomb capacity number 3. $5, a bug net, and a quarter heart container. That's 6 locations down. And gonna pick up that small key. Good presence of mind to go grab that and mirror out and go left.
Next up is chest number 7. It's going to be the big key torch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hunter Seeker using that Bombos medallion, opening up Misery Mire. The torch, just 5 rupees, so if we make it all the way to location 18, the Bob chest, we will see a glitched anti-fairy sprite today, so something to look forward to.
Meanwhile, we got 8, 9, 10, and 11 coming up.
There's that Quake medallion. With that compass. And yeah, just another small key here. Onward to the fire bar room,
well,
number 12.
Rip my 10 guess.
I guess that's another nice thing about guessing a high number is it keeps you invested a little longer. And there's that nice bridge big key, that Godmire for Hunter Seeker.
Keeps you invested until the big key turns out to be in chest number 1.
Which is also always hype. I only really like seeing Big Key 1 on, like, Fighter Sword Ganon's Tower Seeds, or, like, Absolute Jet Seeds, where, like, the runners might be fighting for their own PB in addition to a race win. Because I'm not entirely ill-willed.
Chest 13 had nothing. We head to 14.
14 to 17 coming up in the randomizer room. The first bomb has been laid. And here's another bomb coming out.
He's been very economical about his bombs lately.
Oh, I assume that one that I didn't see was...
yeah, it was...
Oh, no, it was.
Big key.
Yeah,
Top left
I missed
was the big key. So that was chest number 15 because we saw the single arrow in 16. We saw the single rupee in 17.
Yeah, so if you guessed 15 hoping for the vanilla big key location, you got the number. You didn't quite get the location you intended, but 15 was the right guess.
Hey, our tracker was the closest supporter or sub without going over. We're the closest to the 15 with 14.
Yeah, so shout outs to our tracker, Sinhei, and thank you for doing a wonderful job tracking, and congratulations on your leaderboard entry, whatever it may be.
Does that mean we have to burn our tracking witch now?
Tracking witch sounds like something I would pack for, like, a hunting trip or something. Like, if I was out in the woods, I would take a tracking witch for sustenance. But yes, we should absolutely burn them.
Well, I guess
And
I guess we really can't burn them because the fact that we were they weren't exactly correct.
Correct enough. And that was BMO's taking one for the team there in that gauntlet room, but the rest of the rooms are going pretty cleanly for Justin Z.
There's the angry sword slashes for Hunter Seeker, by the way. And Hunter Seeker, you got to go to the Palace of Darkness.
Yep.
We're going. There we go. We finally realized it. They're probably not really in the best of mindset at this point.
No, and yeah, props to Hunter Seeker for not tilting harder, honestly. That bow location, like, with how close he was to grabbing that bow, would tilt even the, I guess, the most stable of runners.
We can't tell at this point if that made the difference between a win and a loss, but we can tell that this seed maybe have gone Hunter Seeker's direction. It could have, very well. And just pointing it at this out based on what we have found, that means if you water dashed and did the stored fake flippers, you could have saved yourself some trouble finding where the flippers were.
Yeah, and he found the flippers. He chose to not go and sequence break to the medallion. And so I liked the play to swamp, because it was the way to press the advantage that he knew his opponent might choose to not have. And Justin Z choosing to check some upper tower chests here. He has sufficient small keys, so I don't know what he's looking for.
Yeah, he's already got red mail. He's got tempered. We know he's not going to find the butter sword. He's got silvers. He may be looking maybe for powder heading into this room.
Yeah, powder, he might be looking for that fourth sword, but I don't know that that's a strong gamble. But he's gonna check all the chests. Maybe just getting that item checked location, or the locations checked counter up. But he will be on to Geometry Wizard, everyone's favorite math game.
Well, considering the fact that Justin Z likes to use a number muncher or a math muncher sprite for his avatar, I think this would be one he would excel on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love number muncher. I am a big fan. I've never played it. But Geometry Wizard, I've played a few different times, and I'm not so good at it, but I enjoy it. Nice 4-cycle there from Justin Z. I think it was a 1-2-2-1.
Yeah, that was what it was. That one that we didn't see all the frames on had to be a double, probably because the two that were on top of each other probably spawned at the same exact time. So time to head to Ganon. Tempered sword. Silver arrows, 13 hearts rather.
Yeah, this is a by all metrics a pretty cozy Ganon. Again, not a free fight by any means, but I would be surprised to see a runner at 4-1 having trouble. And a nice double spin here, set up to get that 1-1. It looks like he got it, or at least got the first part. This second part's going to be tough.
That's an NMG setup. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and Justin Z, not an NMG runner, so props to him for knowing his NMG Ganon strats. Really nice 1-1 there. That's why you don't look for butter, by the way. Is literally all you need to do is do a spin inside the trident, and 1-1 is pretty close to free with cape.
Yeah, got him over here to the bottom left corner. Very little on the Ganon warps. This is a very solid fight. They both found the arrows on Death Mountain. You made it easy. You gave us an early book to find out where they were. Not getting the torch glitch doesn't really matter at this point. Didn't get the torches lit fast enough for him maybe to steal a hit here. That's going to be 3. Likes to go to the fire rod, and one more hit, and Ganon's down for the count.
And one bonus arrow for the wall. Down to 6. Got arrows to spare. See if he can hold up successfully. We've seen runners fail at holding up, or hold up in the wrong way, or nothing's free.
And he goes in, and Justin Z has qualified for brackets to improve to 5-1.
Yeah, congratulations to Justin Z on finishing with an official speedracing.tv time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, 38 seconds. And advancing to brackets with a record of 5-1 now. Does need to complete the race next week, or at least participate, finish with a 6-1 or 5-2. Or 5-1-1. I don't know how that goes down, but either way, he's in, and we'll be seeing more of him in round 7 and in at least one subsequent round. So congrats to Justin Z on that one.
Yeah, for Justin Z, he kept himself in logic, and maybe that's what exactly gave him the win. He never did anything that was really out of reach. Maybe did a couple of other checks that were, I don't want to say questionable, but decisions that you could go different directions in.
Yeah, there weren't too many questionable decisions. It was a pretty clean race overall, I think. There was the decision to leave Turtle Rock was the biggest sort of oddity, and so I do want to ask him about that.
Well, now we have our opportunity to do so. Justin Z comes on in. You've qualified for brackets. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rick.
Yes, congratulations and GG, Justin Z. Well done, well played.
Appreciate it. That felt pretty good. I mean, I did a couple of pretty silly things, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that one.
Fair.
So, I want to ask one question to begin things off here, and that would seem to be your attitude in regards to throwing bombs on certain things. Were you a little upset about when you found the boots?
No, actually, that was a slash of excitement, to be honest. A lot of the other ones, yeah, those were frustration, but that particular one was just being happy.
Yeah, did you feel behind? I mean, you just came in and said, hey, I'm pretty happy with how everything went. I feel like it was pretty good. There were a couple silly things, which there are in pretty much every run. But there were a lot of bombs.
Yeah, there were. I don't know. I was kind of trying to diffuse my own stress level. Obviously, it's a big match with qualifying if you win. So I was just having a little fun with it, and I figured if it also was entertaining for everybody watching, then all the better. But just wanted to keep it light and enjoyable and kind of have that attitude.
Well, it was a good success at that. We had some fun with it.
Well, that's
absolutely good. So Hunter Seeker now going into Ganon's Tower. What do you think ended up happening to Hunter Seeker?
Oh, I mean, I did feel like I had guessed pretty well. Everything from that Spike Cave check at the end of the initial Death Mountain climb to what else? Oh, well, I mean, even just checking the Zora ledge when I did after doing that long walk.
No.
So I felt like I'd kind of snuck away a little, but not exactly sure how.
Now, funny you brought up one particular spot, Spike Cave.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Hunter Seeker died left in the rock.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Hunter Seeker ran around a little while looking for that bow after taking a death and noping out of Spike Cave. Also didn't have hookshot on the first trip up, and so I think it was the second trip up, and ultimately got the bow, I think, on the third trip up to Dark Death Mountain. So
wow,
that was one of the bigger setbacks.
Yeah, that really hurts to even hear, honestly. That's a terrible way for that to have played out.
Yeah, and he ended up popping into Pendant Desert, which turned out to be nothing in there, and then also popped into Desert Pendant Swamp Palace, where there was only one thing that was interesting in there, and we thought it was going to come into play at first. It didn't, because you found the Master Sword and the Checkerboard Cave. Hookshot, the Master Sword for Hunter Seeker turned out to be in the Swamp Big Chest.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I realized, speaking of kind of that general sequence of events for me, when I left Turtle Rock after getting the flute, I was thinking, okay, cool, well, I'll have a chance then. Maybe I'll get really lucky and I'll get enough sword so that I don't end up having to fight Trinex with the hammer. And that turned out to be exactly how it turned out, so I felt really lucky about that.
Yeah, I was really curious about that decision to leave Turtle Rock, so I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, that was the thinking, and yeah, to get two swords like that, one of them being in Turtle Rock, but I wouldn't have had it if I had continued. Wouldn't have had the one from Checkerboard Cave if I had continued. So would have had to do a hammer Trinex, and that's just a pain that I would rather do without. So it worked out.
How happy were you to get tempered out of the chain chomp room?
Oh yeah, massively. That felt great. I just thought, all right, well, everything's going right today, so it felt pretty good. Yeah.
Speaking of everything going right, you had a quick change of emotions from everything going right when you got that tempered to things going wrong when you decided to skip a particular room and then got to the big chest and something is missing.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, one of those silly things cost you about 90 seconds. I'm thankful it didn't make any difference in the long run, but that was a pretty stupid mistake. I should have remembered. I'm sure it's because I split the dungeon. I just had it in my head that I had the big key, so.
Yeah, and that's entirely reasonable. You went sort of the first 3 chests, got the flute, left, came back. It's easy to forget that. I've gone and accidentally checked that looking for the big key, thinking I didn't have the big key more times than I can count. And got like a compass and been like, oh, I guess I'm doing Laser Bridge today.
Yeah.
So when you saw Ether on Zoro Ledge, but you didn't yet have the flippers, did you consider breaking your way over there? Or did you want to stay in Logic in case you needed to go into Swamp?
I decided I wanted to stay in Logic, at least while I didn't have to touch pendant dungeons. So that since the item I needed was the flippers, that meant I knew it would be outside of them. So I just decided at that moment, it's like, all right, there's no reason for me to sequence break this. And it's funny because really, after I thought about it some more while I had a lull in the action, I was like, wait a minute, no, it totally would have made sense to break that. But I turned out getting the flippers awfully fast after that from the dwarf, so...
Yeah, it turned out with the sequence break, you wouldn't have even need the flippers.
Yeah, exactly. So it is tough to pull that off when you've got a waterfall cave check, which had the ice rod too, as well as trying to get up there and keeping the walk activated and ready to go. But so I'm glad I didn't have to try it. But ultimately, I mean, yeah, I might have considered doing that if I'd not found it pretty quickly.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's easier when you're going into Waterfall Cave to just store the 2 walks. Because I hate fake flippering the whole way through Zora's Domain.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
I don't want to do that at all, but I will absolutely double walk.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Because, yeah, if you do it that way, yeah, that's true. That is a good point. Well,
then you just,
next time.
I was gonna say, then you just dash the whole way through, and it's so much less miserable than trying to fake flipper around a bunch of Zoras.
Which is horrible, having done it before. So yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think we've all done it, and none of us want to do it again.
Yeah, I think that's basically where my head went. So I didn't even think about doubling up with the water walking. So yeah, lucky me, the flippers were pretty handy.
Yeah, they were right over at the start of Smith's sequence, which is not the fastest check, but you were kind of ending up back in that area anyway, and you found him pretty quickly. It was a pretty dense spot to go back to, so it worked out.
Right, had Skull Woods to do, and then forgot the pedestal check, and went and got the flippers, so thankfully that didn't matter either.
Yeah, we found out from Hunter Seeker's side that it turned out just to be a fairy in a bottle.
Okay, I mean, obviously once I got everything I needed, that was a little bit of a weight off my shoulders, but I thought to myself, God, it's just such a long trip to go back up there again. So I just ticked it off. I said, all right, we're just gonna play like it's not there.
So you end up you've now qualified for brackets. Next week you have to play a 5-1 match where there's really nothing major on the line. You're going in after scoring a tournament PB of 134.38. Your thoughts going into the final week of this Swiss portion of the tournament?
Yeah, it's such a huge way off to get it done now, especially having lost my first match. So I've rattled off 5 in a row. I feel really fortunate for things to have gone my way since then. So really happy that next week it's going to be about having a little fun, and then we can get down to business 2 weeks from now.
So you say more fun, more bomb straps?
Oh, probably. I'm sure there's a few other things I could throw in there too.
Yeah, I can't highlight enough how impressive rattling off 5 in a row is. I mean, you start with a loss in week 1 of Swiss, and you say, "Oh gosh, now it's a tall mountain to climb." So, congrats again on getting that done.
Well, thank you. It really did feel that way. You're right, and to have managed it, I do feel really good about it. Just really fortunate. I'm very thankful that it's turned out this way for me.
I mean, you played very well. It's no surprise that you managed to do it, but at the same time, like, randomizer is randomizer, and stuff goes sideways fast sometimes, so...
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm hoping this streak continues for me, especially because it seems like every practice seed I do is absolutely atrocious, so if they just keep being good for the tournament races, I guess that's fine.
I mean, 149 locations, plus whatever you didn't actually collect. In 134, that's a really good pace. I mean, it speaks to good routing and solid execution. So I have no doubt that you'll continue to find some success.
Well, thank you.
By the way, I do want to ask this question here as we see Hunter Seeker going up against Daga 2. What were you looking for in the final chest of Ganon's Tower?
Oh yeah, if my count was right, I was either, and I wasn't positive, I thought I was either on 18 or 19 pieces of heart, and if I was on 19 and got another one, I would have gotten a health refill. So it was just for the safety.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I was really perplexed, honestly. If you watch the VOD back, I'm just like, what is he looking for in these chests? Because he's got tempered and silvers and red mail, and everything is there.
Yeah, it was just merely being a little cautious, especially after, like, that stupid spear pig killed me early, which...
Oh my gosh.
I mean, and there was nothing I could do about it because I was jumping down. So it's like, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to try to take luck out of this if I can. Of course, I didn't get a piece of heart, but that was my idea, so...
Yeah, you and Hunter Seeker, I mean, just the way the seed played out, both on really low health for probably the first 40-ish minutes of the run.
Yeah, it was really light out there for heart containers. Tons of pieces of heart, but the heart containers were almost nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and I mean, you ultimately finished with, I think, 13, and that's what Hunter Seeker's now in Ganon with as well, so...
Yeah.
It just wasn't a very generous seed as far as heart pieces, and we saw a lot of locations between the two of you.
Okay, so we had some pretty divergent routing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw all of Pendant Desert and Pendant Swamp.
Oh yeah, because you did that, right.
We never saw Pendant Ice Palace, but...
Okay, so none of that. Yeah, I felt really good. I mean, same general feeling, just never even touching a Pendant dungeon. As well as not going to Eastern early, and that paying off huge, and being able to do Pod and Eastern back-to-back like that after getting Bone Spike Cave. I mean, when things are going like that for you, you just do feel pretty good, obviously.
Yeah, and for Hunter Seeker, we did see kind of the bonus Pod Eastern trip, where he dipped in, and thankfully Pod bow locked pretty quickly, and Hunter Seeker now out of arrows in the Ganon fight, gonna be finishing up some of this.
That's a bummer. I was pretty low too, I was worried, but then got a drop in Ganon's Tower.
That was tight though, he almost fell.
Oh, that's a death. Does he have a fairy?
Does he have a fairy?
Yes, he does. All right.
Thank goodness.
I knew there was a fairy in a bottle. I thought he still had it.
Yeah, he got that off Argus.
Okay, so yeah, Swamp showing up again.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be careful though. Look at his.
His magic and his health are not in good sorts. Shout outs to Half Magic here, putting in work.
Yeah, for sure.
He's out of magic, so he's gonna fall down. That's it.
No.
And no shovel, so where are the arrows gonna come from?
Oh, geez. Good question.
Oh wait, this is a perfect time to use that tier 1 pull. He's got the statue right here to tug. Tier 1 pulls 10 arrows.
That's true. Yeah.
I was wondering if someone was going to do it coming out of Turtle Rock, set up the tier 1 pull when we saw the 10 arrows way back when. But if he remembers his tier 1 tree pull, he'll be set for arrows.
It's not a pull that people tend to remember this late in the run though.
Yeah, I mean it would be an impressively heads-up play. It would be a really cool play to see Hunter Seeker remember to make that, but it is an option he has, and I think it's his best bet. Yeah, he's gonna refill on his potions. He might just commit to do full silverless at this point.
Yeah, that's one option. He's got a few enemies to kill on the way. He might just get a drop. You only need 5, so...
Oh, he's headed to the shop. Is this a shop that sells arrows? I don't think it does.
No.
It does not. There's one that does, and is it the one by Link's house? Oh, we're bush farming.
Yeah, is it maybe the one
Okay.
by Link's house? That's what I was thinking.
Isn't it the one that's over in the Dark World? That one that nobody ever goes to because you never need to see that screen. He's going to the bomb hut here. You can get some. You get some
Oh, there
arrows
we
here.
go. Yeah.
That's a good call.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
He got his 5 arrows. That's enough, assuming that.
Yeah, but he wants to
Assuming he
make
doesn't
sure.
miss any.
'Cause he
Yeah.
went to the fight with 5 arrows, so he wants to make sure that this is going to be a guarantee.
Yeah.
10 arrows works every time. So now he should be all set for this this refight. But got a fluke to a 4. Yeah, a little bit of frustration. It's not going his way, but everyone in chat, throw Hunter Seeker some support right now. I want to see him finish this strong. He's put on a really good run, and that bow got him good. So, like, that he's comported enough to finish this is remarkable.
He's finishing this run, and that is the more important thing. He wants to end this run. He wants to give himself a little bit of satisfaction. You might as well at this point. Finish it off. Get it for your greater good.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I mean, he's going to be coming through this with, you know, what looks to be a solid sub-2, like 155 range time. That's, you know, a nice time on a seed where you got trolled that hard by the bow. Yeah, getting trolled a little with that 10 arrow drop there on the pyramid, but you know, that's V29, man. It just does. But yeah, full on cape strats, 2 blue potions in the bank, so this is.
I had to also ask this
Yeah.
while the Hunter Seeker's at Ganon here because it just made me think of it. Have you been practicing No Major Glitches style Ganon fights?
Have I? Well, I guess. I mean, using his fork to do that spin off, and then I just kind of messed myself up in this fight down to the bottom, so I just switched to the cape because it's just easier to
Right. That start was very NMG-esque, and that's why we're asking, because you haven't put up a time in that category.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a category I've run, but I still try to adopt as many NMG strats as I feel like are worth working on into rando, just for obvious reasons. So
yeah, it was a nice tempered sword 1-in-1. So yeah, I'll echo Adirondack Rick and say really nice Ganon fight, especially your phase 1 was very clean.
And Hunter Seeker ends up finishing off the Ganon fight this time around, and we'll head through the portal, or through the door rather.
Yep, and he beat the Ganon's staircase boss and has made it through with about a 1:55. Looks like an official speedracing.tv time of 1 hour 55 minutes and 9 seconds. So GG to hunterseeker42 on finishing up, and congratulations to him on a nice completion. Got a little trolled by Ganon and a lot trolled by the bow, but pretty darn good overall.
So get your GGs in for both of these runners. Good job, and congratulations to Justin Z on moving on.
Yes, absolutely. GG to both runners. Congratulations again to Justin Z. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in the brackets.
Thanks, guys.
And for everyone out there, if you enjoyed this race and haven't yet, feel free to go give these runners a follow. They put on a really nice show today, and both are quite good at A Link to the Past Randomizer. I'm sure there's a thing or two they could teach all of us, and so I'm sure they would appreciate your support. Seeing if Hunter Seeker is going to come join us, see if he feels like chatting right now.
And again, it was a fine effort there from Hunter Seeker, just dying in Spike Cave was one of the big things of his undoing at this point.
Yeah, and it's absolutely the right call for him to abandon Spike Cave at that point, probabilistically. And
Sure.
so it just sucks that
It's a horrible.
like he made the right play and just caught a really bad break on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the unfortunate thing that he took the death where he did, because it made it harder to get back to that spot.
Yeah, because that really left that location out on an island until he found what he needed to go into Turtle Rock, and also like he'd gotten his hook shot, had like gotten back up to there and was going to go get that bow, and it was very close to being much closer.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been me that, since I forgot to check the pedestal and there was something important there. It's really that kind of race where little things that are almost pure chance just end up making the difference in the end.
Yeah, it looks like Hunter Seeker may have gone dark here and decided for some fresh air. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get him into chat.
Yeah, this might be just one of those ones because of how everything went for a while there, that Hunter Seeker may be opting to go ahead and opt out of the interview. No runner is ever required to pull off the interview, so let's go ahead and just start to wrap things up in that case. We got some great things coming up here on the Speed Gaming channels coming up later on today. Some more Link to the Past randomizer races. Also, day 2 of the Sega Classic Championships coming up beginning at 2 o'clock Eastern on Speed Gaming 1. Plus, also, we have the F-Zero GX Championships coming up in a little bit, I believe, here on this channel, and Dark Souls coming up as well. 3 big events coming up beginning at 2 o'clock Eastern on the Speed Gaming channels.
Yeah, and there's races all day today, all day tomorrow for this tournament, even though we are at days 13 and 14 of this 2-week marathon week 6. There's a lot of good stuff on the calendar. I see already an hour in, Windu vs. Cryptix over on Speed Gaming 5, and starting up just a few minutes ago, Jigheart vs. Sigma Sin over on ALTTP Randomizer. And so that's going to be a slate of early afternoon stuff, but then we're going to see at least a couple 4 p.m.s. Looks like there's also a 6 p.m. and nothing too much going on late. Looks like there might be one 8 p.m. and maybe even a 1 a.m. today, or tomorrow, really. So lots going on.
Yeah, as we start to wrap up this 6th week, the penultimate week of the Swiss part of the tournament, we'll get to see how those 4 and 2 shape up next week. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. For Cyclone, who set things up, for Feasel at the Speed Gaming, for Cindy, who did some great job tracking for us, for Maniacal, my partner, and for the runners, Justin Z and hunterseeker42. Another race where it comes down to a death in a bad spot, and that's the way it goes.
Yes, but good luck to both Justin Z and hunterseeker42 going forward. Hunterseeker will have a chance to redeem himself, and I hope he will next week. I hope for a really good 4-2 showing out of him. Get to cheer him on in that race, unless, of course, it is the match against me. And then I hope it's also a really good showing, but I won't be cheering him on quite as vocally.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so we'll wrap things up here. Dark Souls turns out it will be on this channel. F-Zero will be on Speed Gaming 3. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you again for more Link to the Past randomizer here on the Speed Gaming channels a little bit later on. So, Maniacal, you send us on out of here. I'm Adirondack Rick saying, have yourself a great Saturday.
Yes, thank you to Adirondack Rick for having me here on commentary. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to Justin Z for joining us, and Justin Z and hunterseeker42 for the race. Thank you all in chat for hanging out with us for the past couple hours. It's been absolutely great. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, or whatever day it is, whatever part of the day you are in. Enjoy it, and there's more races coming up, so take it easy.